You know that feeling when you're always the one reaching out first, always the one making sure the spark doesn't fade, always the one reshuffling your calendar just to keep her close. And slowly, almost invisibly, you shift from exciting to dependable, from intriguing to predictable, from desired to replaceable. Here's the truth most men are never told. The moment she feels she can't lose you, she stops being afraid to lose you. Women don't hold tightly to what's guaranteed. They cherish what feels rare. They respect what they can't completely control. When you become too available, too steady, too emotionally certain, you think you're demonstrating loyalty. In reality, you're dissolving tension. There are 9 psychology-backed shifts that awaken something deep inside her. Not manipulation, not games, but a primal awareness that you could walk away. And if she never fears losing you, she will slowly stop respecting you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to bring that edge back. Not by becoming toxic, not by pretending to be someone you're not, but by reclaiming the position you were meant to hold from the beginning. If you're tired of feeling like the backup option, like the one investing more than she is, hit like and subscribe. This is where men learn to understand women from the inside out, not from fantasy, from psychology. Let's begin with the first shift that changes everything. Number 1, cultivate a stronger masculine presence. Here's what most men misunderstand about attraction. Women aren't drawn to masculinity because it looks impressive. They're drawn to it because it feels unpredictable. On a biological level, masculine energy signals strength, independence, and most importantly, optionality. Research on testosterone and long-term mating dynamics consistently shows that men who display dominant traits are perceived as less easily secured. Consciously or not, she senses this. And when she feels that a man isn't automatically locked in, something inside her sharpens. That alertness? That's where fear of loss begins. Now compare 2 men. The first agrees with everything she says. He apologizes instantly. He over-explains himself. He reassures her nonstop that he's not going anywhere. The second listens. He speaks less, but when he does, he's direct. He doesn't rush to smooth every emotional ripple. He doesn't seek approval. He makes decisions without needing consensus. The first feels safe. The second feels solid. Safe is comforting. Solid is powerful. When you soften yourself too much just to be accepted, she relaxes. And when she relaxes too much, she stops valuing your presence. But when you hold your frame, when you don't over-validate, when you don't over-explain, when your commitment feels chosen instead of automatic, she becomes more attentive. You don't need aggression, you don't need coldness, but you do need an edge, a quiet certainty that you choose her. You don't depend on her. Reduce your need for approval. Be decisive even when she disagrees. Stop narrating every thought to prove you're trustworthy. Mystery isn't manipulation, it's emotional discipline. Remember this, soft men are loved temporarily. Strong men are feared to be lost. Number 2, invest more time in your brothers. A man who abandons his world for a woman gradually shrinks in her eyes. I've seen this pattern too often. The relationship begins, and suddenly poker night is canceled. Gym sessions disappear. Group chats go unanswered. His entire rhythm reorganizes around her schedule. At first, she feels chosen. Then she feels powerful. Eventually, she feels bored. Why? Because when you sever your connection to your male tribe, you don't just lose friendships. You lose grounding. You lose perspective. You lose the competitive current that keeps you sharp. Women are highly attuned to influence. If she becomes your only emotional outlet, your only source of validation, your only social anchor, she unconsciously realizes she controls your atmosphere. And control eliminates fear. But when you maintain your circle, when you still show up for your friends, when you invest in male spaces that challenge you, when you engage in conversations that don't revolve around her, something changes. She is no longer the center of your universe. She becomes part of it. There's a subtle psychological discomfort that arises when she senses her influence narrowing. Not because she wants domination, but because attraction thrives on tension. If your world runs smoothly without constant access to her, she becomes aware that she could be excluded from it. That awareness creates investment. So stop asking permission to live. Go to the gym, take the trip, show up for your tribe. Let her see that your identity isn't dissolving inside the relationship. Because the truth is simple. A man without a tribe becomes emotionally domesticated. Number 3, expand your social world to include more women. Before you misunderstand this is not about flirting with every woman you meet. It's not about manufacturing jealousy. It's about social proof. Women may say they dislike competition, but biologically, emotionally, and socially, they respond to it. There's a psychological principle called pre-selection. When a man is seen as desired by other women, even casually, even platonically, his perceived value increases, not because he changed, but because the social environment validated him, and women trust social proof more than self-promotion. Picture this. You're at a gathering. You're relaxed, present, engaged. A female coworker laughs at your joke. Another greets you warmly. Nothing inappropriate, just natural chemistry. Watch her body language shift. She leans closer. She becomes more attentive. Her tone softens. Suddenly, you're not just hers. You're wanted. That subtle tension activates something primal. If other women see value in you, she becomes more aware of securing her position. But here's the boundary you must respect. Don't become addicted to validation. If you chase female attention to provoke her, you look insecure. And insecurity kills attraction faster than invisibility ever could. The strength is in genuine abundance. Build co-ed environments. Expand professional networks. Join social hobbies. Let your presence be witnessed, not advertised. When she sees that other women enjoy your company without you trying, she recalibrates your value. Women don't chase taken men, they chase wanted men. And when she senses that you are quietly in demand, her investment changes. Number 4, stop being afraid to lose her. This is where most men collapse internally. You may never say it out loud, but inside, you're anxious she might leave. Anxious she'll lose interest. Anxious another man might outshine you. And that fear leaks. It leaks through over-texting, through dissecting her tone, through over-explaining your intentions, through giving more than she's earned just to secure your spot. You think you're protecting the relationship. You're actually destabilizing it. Psychology here is ruthless. Scarcity creates value. Desperation destroys it. When a man fears loss, his behavior shifts. He becomes hyper-available. He prioritizes her moods over his mission. He negotiates his standards to avoid friction. And the more he tries to prevent abandonment, the more he signals that she is the prize and he is replaceable. Now flip the frame. Before she entered your life, you were fine. You had goals, structure, direction. You were whole. So why are you acting like survival depends on her staying? This doesn't mean withdrawing affection. It means regulating yourself. Reply when you're genuinely available, not instantly to soothe anxiety. Don't rush to fix every insecurity she expresses. Don't beg for reassurance when tension appears. Sit in it. Stay steady. Stay calm. Emotional steadiness is dominance without aggression. The moment you truly accept that you could walk away and still remain grounded, your entire presence shifts. You stop negotiating from anxiety. You start operating from stability. And here's the paradox no one explains. The second you stop being afraid of losing her, she begins to feel the possibility of losing you. In relationships, the one who fears less naturally leads more. Number 5, be authentic and honest. Most men don't enter relationships as themselves. They enter as a curated version they believe will be approved. They dilute opinions. They hide preferences. They laugh at jokes that don't land. They tolerate behaviors that quietly frustrate them, all in the name of harmony. But here's what you're missing. Women are extremely sensitive to incongruence. She may never consciously think, he's performing, but she feels it. And emotional intuition is sharper than logic. When your words don't align with your internal state, she detects instability, and instability erodes respect. There's another layer to this. When you shapeshift to preserve attraction, you subtly communicate that her approval defines you. Once she senses that level of influence, the dynamic tilts. Now imagine a different response. She shares an opinion you disagree with. Instead of automatically agreeing, you calmly say, I don't see it that way. Not aggressive, not defensive, just grounded. Or she does something that doesn't sit right with you. Instead of suppressing it, you address it directly. That grounded honesty creates friction. But healthy friction builds polarity. Authenticity is rare because most people fear rejection. But when you stop filtering yourself to be easily digestible, something changes. You become defined, solid, distinct, and distinct men are not easily replaced. You don't need to overshare. You don't need to be harsh, but you do need to stop performing. Because a man who hides himself is already positioning himself to be replaced. Number 6, set firm boundaries. Let me challenge you with this. Women do not fall deeply for men they can easily bend. Attraction does not grow in the absence of resistance. It grows in the presence of structure, and boundaries are structure. Most violations don't start dramatically. They begin subtly. She replies hours late repeatedly, but expects immediate responses from you. She makes sarcastic comments disguised as jokes. She cancels plans last minute without accountability. Small things. The first time you ignore it. The second time you laugh it off. By the third time, a new standard exists, and you helped create it. Here's the psychological reality. Every time you tolerate behavior that contradicts your values, you lower your perceived threshold. When she senses no consequences, she stops calibrating. Boundaries are not about controlling her. They are about defining you. A calm correction carries weight. I don't appreciate that. Steady tone, no yelling, no emotional eruption, just clarity. And if the behavior continues, consequences without drama, less access, less investment. Not as punishment, as alignment. When you stand firm without anger, you communicate something primal. You value yourself. Women are wired to respect men who value themselves more than they fear conflict. When you hold your line, she adjusts. She becomes more intentional, more aware. But when you fold to avoid discomfort, she expands. Not maliciously, not consciously, instinctively. Over time, she will test a man who never defines limits. Remember this clearly. She cannot deeply love a man she can bend. Number 7, show disappointment when necessary. There is a sharp difference between anger and disappointment. Anger is loud, reactive, emotional. Disappointment is quiet, controlled, and far more powerful. When she breaks trust, crosses a line, or violates your standards, most men either explode or pretend nothing happened. Both responses weaken you. Explosion signals instability. Silence signals tolerance. But calm disappointment shifts the ground. Psychologically, women invest more where they feel they must regain approval, not through manipulation, but through standards. Imagine she lies about something minor or disregards a commitment. Instead of arguing endlessly, you say, "That's not something I'm okay with." Your tone lowers. Your energy pulls back slightly. You become less available, not cold, not cruel, just recalibrated. That subtle withdrawal activates something deeper than fear of conflict. It activates fear of losing status in your eyes. Admiration matters. Being respected by you matters. When that perception drops from admiration to disappointment, she feels the shift. Indifference rarely changes behavior. Disappointment does. Shorter responses. Less warmth. Controlled distance. Not as a tactic, as alignment with your standards. When she feels she must earn back full access to you, she becomes more invested, because disappointment carries weight. Number 8, be emotionally unavailable sometimes. If you are constantly accessible, you become emotionally predictable, and predictability lowers tension. Many men believe nonstop availability equals security, so they answer every call instantly. They reply within seconds. They stay up at 2 a.m. absorbing emotional spirals despite early mornings. At first, she appreciates it. Then she expects it. Eventually, she stops valuing it. When you become her permanent emotional sponge, you eliminate mystery. You eliminate space. You eliminate absence. And without absence, there is no fear of loss. This isn't about ignoring her. It's about controlled access. If you're busy, respond when you're free. If you're focused, finish before engaging. If she vents nightly, you don't always become the therapist. You have a life, and that life does not pause on command. Small emotional gaps create awareness. When she texts and you don't respond immediately, she notices. When you remain steady instead of absorbing every mood shift, she recalibrates. That recalibration is healthy. It reminds her your energy is valuable, not unlimited. Constant access destroys mystery. Mystery sustains attraction. Number 9, center your life around something greater than her. This is the shift that anchors everything. A woman does not fear losing a man whose entire existence revolves around her. She may enjoy the attention, she may appreciate the devotion, but she will not fear losing it because she knows he has nowhere else to direct himself. When a man abandons his mission for love, he believes he's proving commitment. He postpones goals, delays ambition, shrinks his growth to be more accommodating. But here's the uncomfortable reality. The more you compress your world to fit her, the less she feels pressure to fight for space in it. Women are deeply attracted to men moving towards something, a career vision, physical mastery, a mission requiring discipline, a purpose independent of her validation. Why? Because purpose establishes hierarchy. When your life is built around a mission, she enters your world. You don't orbit hers. She senses internal direction rather than relational dependency. Dependency dissolves tension. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, your schedule bends around her moods. Your weekends depend on her availability. Your plans shift to avoid friction. In the second, your week revolves around your objectives: gym, business, projects, growth. She is invited into that structure, but she doesn't define it. Which man feels harder to replace? When your life is full, when your energy drives forward, when your identity expands beyond the relationship, she feels it. She feels that if she steps out of alignment, your trajectory continues. That awareness creates respect. Respect creates fear of loss. Because a woman fears losing a man who does not require her to exist. Now you see the pattern. None of these shifts are about manipulation. None are about arrogance or emotional coldness. They are about restoring structure, restoring tension, restoring value. Fear of loss is not built through games. It grows through three elements: respect, uncertainty, and self-worth. When she respects you, she calibrates. When there is healthy uncertainty, she invests. When you value yourself, she feels the cost of losing you. But if she senses desperation, if she believes that no matter what she does, you will stay, adjust, overgive, and overcompensate, she will never fight to keep you. Security without strength breeds complacency. You don't need to become colder. You need to become stronger. You don't need to threaten to leave. You need to live in a way where leaving is always possible because your life is already complete. So if you felt like the backup option, if you've sensed the dynamic slowly shifting away from you, this is your opportunity to reset it. Comment below, I choose value. Subscribe if you're ready to understand women beyond surface emotion, at the deeper psychological level most men never reach. And share this with the man who is giving everything and slowly losing his position without even realizing it. Make her respect you, and she will fear losing you.